As we conclude this training, it's important to revisit some of the basic concepts we have covered. There are a variety of factors that influence a student's behavior. These can include everyday events like a noisy classroom, peers not working well together in a group activity, or a teacher asking a student to correct his work. The first step for teachers or instructional personnel is to agree on the target behavior. What is the behavior that needs to change? An operational definition of the behavior provides us with a complete description that is measurable, observable, and clearly understood by everyone who will be working with a student. After the target behavior has been operationally defined, we need to identify the function or the purpose of the behavior. A student's problem behavior has two main functions: to obtain something or to escape something. That something may be social attention, sensory stimulation, or something tangible. In our example with Demi, after the teacher has been busy with another group of students, she gives the class a direction, such as line up, and Demi is aggressive toward her peers. We saw that when Demi is aggressive, it results in Ms. Brantley talking to her. Demi, then, is obtaining attention. Because we see a pattern in the ABCs of Demi's behavior, we can determine that attention is the function of her behavior. A student may also engage in a behavior to obtain something tangible. For example, a student throws his materials off the desk, and the teacher gives him new materials or his favorite colored pencils. Another student may bother a peer during work time. The teacher then typically asks her to take a walk to the office and back. The student knows that by bothering a peer, she will obtain some sensory input. She will get to leave her chair and walk. On the other hand, what about a student who lays her head down on the table after being given an independent task? If the teacher typically lets the student keep her head down and not complete the work, the function of her behavior is to escape having to do the task. The function of a student's behavior may also be to escape peer attention, such as giving a presentation in front of his class, or to avoid sensory stimulation, like a noisy classroom. To figure out the function of a behavior, you need to look for a pattern over many occurrences of that behavior. To do so, you need to ask what happens in the environment or in people's behavior that occurs immediately before the behavior. These are called the antecedents. Look at the relationship between the antecedents and the behavior. This will help you identify what might trigger the behavior in the future. For Demi, the antecedent is being asked to line up. The events that immediately follow the behavior are called consequences. These are the events that maintain the problem behavior and continue it. When you analyze the consequences that often follow a behavior and are able to identify a pattern, this helps you predict which events are maintaining the behavior. For Demi, the consequence is that the teacher gives her attention. Setting events are those events that make the problem behavior more likely to occur. They may occur sometime before the challenging behavior or immediately before it. These events may make an antecedent more significant or a reinforcer more powerful. For example, a student who has a bad cold may be more likely than usual to grumble when asked to complete his math work. For Demi, the setting event was when she was not in the teacher's reading group. She was then more likely to be aggressive when asked to follow directions. The attention provided by Ms. Brantley was more reinforcing of Demi's aggressive behavior, because Demi had been without the teacher's attention for a long time. All of these components are necessary and important parts of analyzing the challenging behavior. It's important to be able to define the challenging behavior, identify the antecedents that happen immediately before the behavior occurs, identify the consequence that results after the behavior happens, and the setting events that make the behavior more likely to occur. Once you have identified the function of the behavior, it's time to start problem solving. Remember, for an intervention or replacement behavior to be successful, it should always have the same function as the challenging behavior. Having Demi request attention from Ms. Brantley will also result in her gaining the teacher's attention. We have shown you two tools to help you link interventions to function: the competing behavior pathway and the table chart that can be used to analyze a summary statement.